One of the other things that we're really proud of is the deep analytical capabilities, and a lot of the users, except for the advanced users, may not know about some of these features. And I strongly urge you to talk to some of the experts that here on our staff here today and find out more about those. But there's deep analytics, and any type of relationship you can exploit if you're trying to figure out what your gap analysis is. We have matrices. We have also 100% industry standard metrics supported, as well as things like visual differencing, so you can see what's changed between version 1 and version 2 of your design. And those things are really deep. And one of the other things that I like is that you can grab any element within MagicDraw. You can click on showing show-related elements, and you can say, okay, who uses me, or who do I use? And you can specify how many levels you want to go out, or even infinite. So if you want to know the true impact of making some kind of change in your architecture, literally within a couple of seconds you could know what that could be. And then besides the deep analytical capabilities built into the product itself, you have our additional analysis that can be done, of course, by the simulation toolkit, by Paramagic, which can solve equations both ways, forward and backwards. You can change target values to givens and givens to targets. Also, for embedded systems, you have the Cofluent, or should we say Cofluent Intel plugin now, that they were just recently bought by Intel to do embedded simulations. And we have some of our customers here that are using that plugin today. They can probably talk to you more about. Cameo Interop and Workbench, I've told you quite a bit about that already. And of course, our SysML plugin, as well as we also communicate to different mathematical solvers like Mathematica and Modelica, as well as tie into things like Simulink. So what can you design with NoMagic's products? Well, I like to say you can design the world. When in doubt, model everything. Okay? So no matter whether you're doing user interfaces and trying to model that and show how different requirements satisfy certain requirements within that user interface, or you're designing a mechanical system, or an electrical system, or a robot, or any type of chip, or any kind of process, you can do that with MagicDraw. Now I want to focus your attention on the strategy. When I took over back about 5 or 6 years ago as president and CEO, I put together a task force, and we kind of looked at what we needed to add to MagicDraw to take it to the next level. What things were missing for us? Well, one of the pieces was having a good enterprise architecture solution. So we started down the path to what we now have Cameo Enterprise Architect today. But we also have things like the Zachman framework in there. We also have TOGAF and other frameworks included in there, and so we can answer that question. And being a Purdue EE, we saw the need, and being a system engineer at a lot of my career, we found out that that SysML was going to come up. We didn't know when, but right now it's really going through the roof as far as taking off. And we saw a need in the industry. There was a lot of SysML and the system engineering solutions out there, but they weren't following the standards very well. And so we looked at it and said, okay, we're going to make the best possible, most standards compliant SysML tool, and that's exactly what we did. As well as coming up with a model-based system engineering process and service offering. And then in the requirements area, as you all know, about 90% of the market was taken up by a couple of two tools. But we thought there was a way and a need for another type of tool that could either augment those or completely replace them and add some of the new modern multimedia capabilities that we're all using today. And we came up with Cameo Requirements Plus product. If you get a chance, stop by the demo area and see how that works. You'll see some refreshing new additions that can really enhance things like preserving your corporate memory. And then we saw there a need to also tie compliance into our software, so we came up with a general purpose compliance framework in our e-compliance product. And then one of the other things our customers, we listen to our customers again, is at the enterprise level. It was almost impossible to make an enterprise level sale to get a large organization to standardize on your product unless you had supported FlexLM. So we put the time, the money, and the effort into converting over there, even though our key file management stuff was perfectly fine. But that has also helped the enterprise and made it easier for our larger customers to manage their licenses. The other thing that we always had supported business process modeling, but we didn't really focus on that much. And so what we did was, when the new 2.0 standard came out, I didn't like any of the visualization I saw out there. And I said, you know what? Nothing looks as good as our UML tool and the visualization they did on that. Let's do the same thing for BPMN. So we came out with our BPMN 2.0 plugin, and that's where it is today. But if you haven't looked at that and seen that, it is absolutely gorgeous. Our team did a wonderful job on that. And then another part was interoperability, which we've talked about, and we all see the critical need. I think that's one of the biggest things in government today, is they have interoperability problems, and we can solve those. And simulation also, you want to simulate your system, because you can't afford to build all those different options in your system these days and test those out. You need to simulate those to save cost. And we've got that with the simulation toolkit, as well as tying into other simulation engines. And then I'll talk in a minute here. I've got a separate slide on our model-driven costing, which Gartner has said we have a whole new magic quadrant of our own that we're really defining, and it's really exciting. The other thing that we needed was more business intelligence. We needed to tie into more rule engines. We needed to be able to go and automate things to pull out business knowledge, and that's what our Cameo Harvester product is going to be doing for you, and that's going to get released fairly soon. And the last but not least is scalability. Scalability is kind of the holy grail, because there was no products out on the market that can really model that entire fleet of subs or an entire aircraft or aircraft carrier for that matter. And then like I said, some of our newly released things. The Model to Mobile is a fantastic product. Stop by the Digital Architect booth and see a sample of that today. I think you'll love what they've done over there with that product. And Model to Mobile is the product that will be the name we'll use when we release that product here shortly. And the Cameo DDT for design-driven testing from Iconics, that should be released shortly. Cameo Harvester, and of course Cameo Ontology. Every once in a while, people come out with a breakthrough technology that really can be a game changer for industry. And this new breakthrough technology that we're announcing here at the show, applying to, many of you have done activity-based costing. Well, now imagine model-driven costing. What we have done is we basically have broke down the tasks and activities and tied spreadsheets in with the models so that you can drive change from either the spreadsheet into the models or the models back into the spreadsheet. And you can take basically any type of business, whether you're doing financial things or you're a business analyst and you want to drive events into some kind of an event into your system, see how that's going to trickle through your organization, or even for the government, even have event-driven things like what happens if there's a hurricane, and what are the costs associated with that? What are each activity going to cost? Or make that buy-build decision. So do you want to buy that new nav system, or do you want to go ahead and let's reuse the Brits' new one? Those kind of things, or choose which supplier of these 10 suppliers should you use based upon their past performance, based upon what the real cost is. You know, being able to put models together like this will prevent us from having these, oops, we made a $50 billion mistake on how much the healthcare is going to cost. What we've done this year is the truth is in the model. And the more organizations that move toward having a model-driven enterprise, you can actually predict what those costs really are. And the evolution of No Magic's business over time, our solutions, our quality, our standards, our ability to execute, and our completeness of vision have all increased over time. And these are now benchmarked with some things in the industry. Like I said, we have been told that the Gartner, we are the only addition to Gartner's Magic Quadrant for the business process analysis for 2011. Any day now they're going to announce so we can see where that position is. And we're excited. But our solutions, what they've really brought to the industry is and everything is, and we all know that every system and everything is getting so much more complex with so many more things integrated and interfacing together, and the complexity is just getting almost unbearable. But some of the solutions that we have and the rest of our industry have been putting together has really taken and helped simplify that business, that business complexity. No Magic continues to be known industry-wide for our customer service, our award-winning service. My team does an unbelievable job at delivering you true value, whether you're calling into that support line or writing that email. We try to do the best job possible in the industry. like I said, I'm an old Purdue engineer. I want that feedback. I want those customers to be, questions answered. If they have a question of whether they're buying, whether they've already bought, or whether they've got a problem, we need to make that time as short as possible to keep the cost down for our customers. And I believe we've done a major job at doing that. And we're committed to continuing that in the future.